This is not an eulogy, and it is not a birthday hymn. We do not meet a day like this with candles, noise, and forgetfulness. You taught us better. You taught us that when a day returns, it is only a reminder that we were born. It's a reminder that we are traveling, that we are nearer to our return than we were before. And so the right response is gratitude, reflection, and dua. So this is witness, testimony, and gratitude with breath in it. This is me giving my mom her flowers while she can still smell them, like nectar in the petals. While she can still smile, while she can still answer in that gentle voice of hers. Jazakumullahu khairan. Mom, I want to tell you a story properly. Before you were our mother, words were loud from families of your adventures. You were a brilliant young woman leading your class, loving excellence. Distinction knew your name. And even later in your master's journey, it still did. Allah trained you in discipline before He deepened you in deen. Then university came, and Islam became more than what surrounded you. It became what shaped you. You leaned into it, and in that season, you chose well for us before we were even born. You married your teacher in Islam and Qur'an, the man who became our father, and by Allah's mercy, the best father you could have chosen for us. You and Dad stood for something, Amir and Amira, young and rooted. You married early with little in your hands but certainty in your hearts. Against pressure, against hardship, against the idea that people must first own the world before they are allowed to build a home. And even though you came from relative comfort, you chose a man for Islam, then stayed with him through thick and thin to build a life that may not impress this world at first glance, but it is honorable, halal, and full of children who are proud to call you their mother. You struggled for that life, to the farm with Dad, through lean seasons. Even while carrying your first pregnancy, you were still striving, still building. That is the kind of story I come from. Not comfort first, but conviction first. Then you became our first teacher, not figuratively alone, but also literally. You started Al Irshad Nursery and Primary School, working side by side with my dad, building a foundation for your children and for many brilliant minds after us. You built a school, and at home, you built us too. Food on the table, clothes on our back, the best schools you could reach. But you did not only care about what would make us successful before people, you cared about what would make us upright before Allah. So while many parents stopped at report cards, you pushed for more. Quran memorization, Arabic lessons, madrasa, Zumrah on the days I wanted anything but Zumrah. You fought for our dunya without trading away our akhirah. And I understand that better now. Because the things I was careless with then, I am now paying to learn. The discipline I resisted, I now respect. The deen you were trying to anchor into my bones, I now recognize as mercy. Because some of the hardest love to receive becomes the easiest love to respect. After secondary school, you would not let me drift. Hardware engineering apprenticeship. When admission delayed, you sent me to remedial. No wasted seasons, no comfortable stagnation. No sitting at home waiting for life to happen to your son. I remember when you hid my laptop. At the time, it felt like interruption. It felt like you were standing in the way of something I was trying to do. But you were not fighting my future. You were protecting it with the information you had. You did not know that the same laptop you hid from me would become part of what I would eventually use to learn, to work, to build, to become. What you knew was too many boys my age were wasting themselves in play, and you refused to let failure come and find your son sitting comfortably. Wrong about the tool, right about the danger. That is so much of your motherhood. Strict in method sometimes, merciful in intention always. And through all of this, you preached without noise. You were never loud about your sacrifices. You never hung your pain in the open and asked for applause. You just carried on with your benign life and gentle nature. You carried the house. You carried the worry. You carried difficult days. You carried dreams in one hand and responsibilities in the other, and somehow still made room to hold all of us close. That is the kind of love you gave us. Not the kind that performs, the kind that remains. The kind that wakes before dawn and remembers everyone in prayer. The kind that goes without, so her children do not feel lack. the kind that notices something is wrong before we even know how to name it. You do not joke with Salah. Morning and evening, your adhkar remains. No matter what life is doing, you will always return to Allah. That consistency preached to us without a khutbah. My sisters saw that. We all did. You showed them that a woman can be dignified and devoted, excellent without arrogance, strong without hardness, soft without weakness, and present in the world without being consumed by it. You showed all of us that faith is not something you visit when life is calm. Faith is what you keep when life is full. Now life has carried me far, and distance has taught me something. It has not reduced your influence, it has revealed it. The farther I travel, the clearer your fingerprints become. In my discipline, there you are. In my seriousness, there you are. In my desire to seek knowledge and do better, there you are. And I know there are sacrifices I still cannot fully name. Tears you wiped before we saw them. Burdens you carried before we were old enough to understand weight. Prayers you whispered for us that heavens recorded long before life showed us how much we needed them. If I have ever found my way back from darkness, if I have ever stood back up after breaking, if I have ever been protected in ways I cannot explain, then somewhere inside that story is a mother on a prayer mat mentioning my name to Allah. What a gift. What a mercy. What a woman. Long before the world ever tried to teach us anything, you were already teaching us of sabr with elegance, of giving without spectacle, of faith that does not collapse just because life becomes heavy. And even now, you're still a refuge, still the voice that can calm a storm in me, still the heart that makes home feel like home, still the kind of presence that can make grown children feel safe again. People say give people their flowers while they are alive. So today I bring you mine, the flowers of remembrance. For every meal, every warning, every correction wrapped in care, every school fees, every farm road, every prayer sent ahead of us like light on a dark road, the flowers of witness. We saw your strength. We saw your consistency. We saw your resilience. We saw the brilliant young woman who embraced deen deeply. We saw the wife who chose faith over comfort. We saw the mother who built a school, a home, and children. We saw the worshiper whose prayers became protection. We saw the woman whose sacrifice made room for our future. And the flower of gratitude. Thank you for being a mother in the deepest sense of the word. Not just by title, but by action, by sacrifice, by presence, by the way you turn duty into devotion and devotion into beauty. And now the flowers of prayers. Mom, I ask Allah to preserve your life long in goodness. May He keep you in health, in peace, and in light. May He reward you for every hidden labor, every sleepless night, every silent tear, every burden you carried without complaint, every seed of goodness you planted in us. May He let you and Dad reap the fruit of your labor, with joy in your eyes and contentment in your hearts. May He place barakah in your years, strength in your body, sakina in your home, and ease in your days. May He make your mouth moist with lots of shukrulillah, salawat on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and istighfar. May He always give you mazidat al-khair. May He make the love you poured into others return to you multiplied. May He make your later years beautiful with worship, gentle with ease, rich with answered prayers, and surrounded by children who never stop honoring you. Sharifa. And because you taught us what a day like this means, I will not turn it into empty celebration. I will turn it into witness, into gratitude, into dua for you, into this simple truth. If I become anything good, anything disciplined, anything faithful, anything soft without weakness, anything firm without cruelty, then part of that story began with you. These flowers are yours. And if I am being honest, they have been growing from your sacrifices all along. Mom, I love you then, I love you now, I love you forever, hatta yawm al-qiyamah.